brought to you by Kellogg's. Kellogg's Cereals. The best to you each morning from Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now let's all play What's My Line? And now live from New York, let's meet our What's My Line panel. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in papers coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And now, a man I just happen to love, Mr. Alan Ludden.
Oh, thank you. Now, I'd like to introduce to you a lady who is just as nice and just as bright and just as much fun as you've thought she was all these years in What's My Line. She's currently breaking all the box office records at Paramus, New Jersey, starring in Janus, and I'm talking about Arlene Francis.
And now the distinguished head of Random House, who plays games for therapy and money, Mr. Bennett, Cerf.
And here's our distinguished panel moderator, a man of few words, that is a few million words, John Charles Daly.
A most obvious attempt at intimidation, but it won't work at all. Good evening. Nice to see you all. Alan Ludden, it's nice of you to take time out from a busy schedule with Password to come and join us. We hope you find this relaxing instead of work.
It's a pleasure to be here, you know that.
Good to have you with us. We have some very interesting occupations, and I think the panel will have some fun. I won't say how well they'll do, but I think they'll have some fun in the next half hour. We will also have a famous mystery guest before my friends on the panel a little bit later in the program, and we'll meet our first challenger. And now to meet our first contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Sign in right there, please. Mrs. X. Thank you. Nice to see you. Needless to say, panel, Mrs. X is so designated because, again, we have to have some concern about how much help we give you, as always, so that we are just going to ask you to meet Mrs. X. This is our panel. And where are you from, Mrs. X?
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Fine. Would you join me over here?
Delighted.
And I wonder if you know how we keep score on What's My Line.
I do.
In that event, we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we can tell you that Mrs. X is salaried and deals in a service. And we'll begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
Mrs. X, do you by any chance work for a non-profit making organization? Yes. Is it some branch of the government? Yes. Are you usually in Washington rather than Philadelphia in your job? Not entirely.
But when we say usually, would you spend more time in Washington than you do in Philadelphia?
Yes, more time. Is your position appointed rather than elected? Yes. Do you have anything to do with currency? Yes. I can't think of...
Mrs. Garrity.
Garrity, yes. Are you Mrs. Garrity? No.
1 down and 9 to go. In fact, I'm going to make it 2 down and 9 to go because Bennett was in that. Bennett, you go ahead anyway.
Have you anything to do with the bills of the nation that are sent out? $1, $5, $10 bills. The United States issuance of currency. Are you not the lady who has recently been appointed treasurer to sign all these bills?
Yes.
That is her name.
But it isn't
That's right. I must say that Arlene and Bennett really get credit because you got the first letter right. Granahan.
Granahan.
Mrs. Kathryn E. Granahan.
Kathryn Granahan, is that right?
Right, the Treasurer of the United States who signs every bill that come in. You look at the new currency, there is Mrs. Granahan's wonderful name. But also you have charge of all of government checks, don't you send out?
Oh, all the claim checks, all the forgeries. There are 42 bureaus under my...
Under your jurisdiction?
Office, yes. And about 1,300 employees.
That's great. Mrs. Granahan comes to a very high office, and congratulations on your appointment in January, from a distinguished career, because you were Congresswoman from Pennsylvania, I believe.
4 terms.
For 4 terms, and actually the first woman from Pennsylvania to be elected?
That's right.
Yeah, that's a wonderful career. You should be very proud of yourself.
And the first woman from Pennsylvania to be appointed to the United States Treasury.
United States Treasury, that's fine. I think you are succeeding 3 other.
Yes, I'm the 4th woman.
The 4th woman in succession?
I'm the 34th woman. That's the 34th treasurer.
Might I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
How many new $1 bills are issued in the course of a year? Have you any idea?
Oh, my, millions. Couple millions. And the strange thing is that the the 5s and 10s and 20s, they're still using those without my signature because they will not be issued until there's a need for them. So I imagine we all have more $1 bills than we do 5, 10s, 20s, 50s, and 100s.
That's for certain. But it's nice to have them with your signature on them now. And thank you very much for being our guest. Lovely to have you. Well, a very good beginning for the panel. Let's see what we can do with the second challenger. Will you enter and sign in, please?
I like to play this.
Bob Sherman, right, sir? Mr. Sherman, where are you from?
Hollywood, California.
Hollywood, California. Oh, great. It's nice to have you out here in the chilly east. May I present our panel, Mr. Sherman? Would you join me over here now? Do you know how it keeps going?
Yes.
Fine. We'll let the audience at home and the audience in the theater know exactly what your line is. All right, panel. Mr. Sherman is self-employed and deals in a product. And we'll begin the general questioning with Bennett Cerf.
Mr. Sherman, is your product used by either motion picture, radio, or television companies?
Yes.
Is it especially designed for use in the entertainment business?
No.
No. That's 1 down and 9 to go. Miss Kilgallen.
Could I use your product?
Yes.
Do you think that perhaps I'm using it now?
No. I hope not.
You hope not?
You mean right now, Dorothy, at this moment in time, or do you mean in terms...
Well, currently, this week or
Oh,
this year.
Oh, yes. In that case, we'd say it's likely that you would be.
But you think it's unlikely that I would be wearing it to the studio?
Yes, we would think it would be unlikely you'd wear it to the studio. Of course, you could, maybe, I don't know.
Is this something that, is it something I could hold in my hand?
Yes.
Would I do something with it?
Yes.
Would I put it in my hair?
No.
No, I don't think so. No, I know women put virtually everything in their hair, but I don't think for this. 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Ludden.
You notice what Arlene has in her hair tonight? It's a dead hair. It's pretty.
Beautiful.
It's very beautiful. It's a flower. It's very nice.
Dior.
Oh, it is. But I have a hunch that this gentleman does something that has to do with athletics and athletic equipment. Granted that Dorothy can't wear it, but could be using it currently. And you did wince at all, John, when she said wear it, so am I correct in assuming that it is a wearable item?
No.
No. That's 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Preston.
So that this product would be used by all people, not necessarily motion picture people or theater people?
Yes.
That's correct. And it's used equally by men and women?
Yes.
Is it worn on the person in any way?
No.
No.
Or carried? No.
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Sherman, does your product improve or beautify people in any way?
No.
No. 5 down and 5 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
You did say I could hold it in my hand.
Yes.
Is it anything to exercise with?
No.
No. 6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Ludden.
Does it have any moving parts?
No.
7 down and 3 to go, Miss Francis.
Is there any metal in it?
Yes.
Is it applied to something else when it is in use?
Usually, yes.
Does it do any corrective work of any kind? Like cleaning or polishing or...
Well, if you just want to leave your basic question there, I think we would have to admit that circumstances could arise where the efficient use of the product would have a corrective character, even though it might be on an interim basis. Would you agree with that?
Even though it would be, what was that?
It might be on an interim basis.
On an interim basis.
Yes, it's corrective character.
When it is applied to something, is the something in a room?
Could be.
Yeah.
Would it be on a table?
Could be.
Is it something that is used on something other than humans?
Yes.
Yes.
Will it be used on animals?
No. I don't believe so.
I don't believe so. There could be a rare occasion when it might happen to be so rare that no. 8 down and 2 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Sherman, would this mysterious product of yours be on sale in a general sort of store?
Yes.
In a stationery store, might it be bought?
Yes.
Would it have anything whatever to do with writing?
I mean, is it an instrument in and of itself which one would use necessarily when one is writing?
When one is writing, might one use this product one way or another?
No, here again, Bennett, it would mislead you so grievously, you know, if we said yes.
You wouldn't want to do that.
We wouldn't want to do that, so we'd say no. Did you want a conference, Miss Francis?
I have a feeling, that certain feeling. I had a feeling then of being rubbed out like an eraser. Does anybody want to go for anything on that order?
But it's 9 down and 1 to
You
go.
can't
And
write with an eraser. You can only erase with
I said, was it used
In the
process of writing?
Oh.
How about, is it you sit down?
Maybe it's a calendar.
Maybe it's a beer opener.
No
He
moving
doesn't,
parts.
he knows, he's pretty sure I wouldn't have it here, but I would have one at home, you think.
we would assume so.
You'd hope you wouldn't be using it here.
Would a child have one at home?
Hmm?
It's likely.
But it's metal, it couldn't be an eraser.
No, that's right. I'm sorry.
Well, an eraser could be partly metal.
No, it isn't an eraser.
All right, the conference time
I'm sorry.
is up. Dorothy?
I'm just stalling because I
Maybe
can't
it's a
think of a
pencil
question.
sharpener.
Would it be used more in an office than in a home?
I wouldn't say any more.
Would you
could
say...
be. Here again, it could be, Dorothy. It would depend a good deal on the nature of the office and the nature of the home.
Would you say that a person who had one of these objects would use it in privacy?
No, I don't think they'd mind using
You
it
mean
in public.
as a reasoned and prudent gesture, would they use it in privacy?
In general practice.
No, that I think we'd have to give you a no to, because
I'm happy to get it.
the last time I sat on a thumbtack, I did it right out in public. The American Thumbtack Company.
That's correct.
And, you know, it's funny because I've been sitting here for these past few minutes, and I couldn't get that image out of my mind, because when I was in preparatory school, this used to be one of my, well, I guess less laudable characteristics. I used to run around putting thumbtacks in the students' chairs so they'd sit on them.
Hey, John,
What would say there?
now you do it verbally.
No, I do it verbally. Why, thank you, Dorothy. Well, that was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed your visit. It was good to have you with us, Mr. Sherman, and may thumbtacks come into greater and greater use all over the
Fine.
country.
Thank you very much.
Nice to have you with us. Oh, thank you. And now that Bennett has just received a small gift, we can say he's pretty tacky. And we'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment after this word from our sponsor. And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery challenger, for which my friends on the panel are blindfolded. The blindfolds are in place. Panel?
Yes, John.
Good. Will you enter mystery challenger and sign in, please? All right, panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, one question at a time, in turn, moving clockwise, and we'll begin with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Are you a performer?
Yes.
Ludden?
I am correct in assuming you're a lady. What did I hear?
No.
No. That's 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Well, I didn't word that right, I don't think.
No?
Are you a performer in the theater?
Yes.
Sir?
Is there more than one mystery guest tonight? No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Are you, by any chance, some nationality other than USA?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Ludden.
Is this... Well, I'll ask it again. Then, are you a man?
There are only 2 choices.
Well, I get... All right.
Oh, yeah.
Miss Francis?
I didn't hear the answer.
Yes. Miss Francis?
What could you expect? You knew he wasn't a lady.
It was a stupid question, but I was confused.
Are you appearing now or about to appear on the Broadway stage?
Yes.
Mr. Cerf?
I don't think his strength is going to hold out.
Is the show in which you're appearing one that has music in it? Yes.
Miss Kilgallen?
Do you play a romantic leading man?
When?
You mean in the program that is or is about to, Dorothy?
Whatever it is that he is going to do or has just done, is he a romantic leading man, the type who gets the girl?
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Oh, you are a hard one to figure out, aren't you?
Me? Now, my turn?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you play several parts in this show in which you're appearing?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis?
There are 2 very important openings coming up. One is Strange Interlude, and one is Too True to Be Good. Are you in either one of those all-star casts?
Yeah.
Mr. Cerf?
Well, say it.
Are you the man to whom 76 trombones was the sweetest sound?
George Bernard Shaw's...
You were so demure.
Yeah, wasn't he, though? Even has
This may open up a whole new career for me.
Particularly since I'm so used to seeing him late on night of television, you know, with 6 guns and 4 knives and up with the Northwest Mounties, and he comes in here and he's so mine.
Oh, wait a minute. We gave you all a week off last week.
That you did, I must say. You not only gave us all a week off, but did magnificent. My daughter described it as the best television program she'd ever seen.
Not in this half hour.
No, that set me back a bit, Robert, you know, because my daughter Bunty said it's the best one I've ever seen.
I think the duet you sang with Carol Burnett, the medley, was about the best number since Ethel Merman and Mary Martin did something like that many years ago.
Better than that, it may just end all duets.
Well, actually, to get it correct, Too True to Be Good, George Bernard Shaw's, is opening a week from Tuesday, isn't it?
Yes, on the 12th.
The 12th.
It draws nigh.
And for folks who are not in New York and who may not see as much as we do about things that are going to happen, would you just for fun run through some of the cast who are playing with you in Too True
Well,
to
let's
Be
see.
Good?
I don't want to miss a soul. We have 8 people. have Glynis Johns, Eileen Heckert, Lillian Gish, Ray Middleton, David Wayne, Cyril Richard, Sir Cedric Hardwick, and a new young juvenile named Bob Preston.
Named Bob Preston. A new young juvenile. That'll be the day. Bob, thanks for being our guest.
Thank you very much.
Glad to have you on What's My Line.
I was waiting for you.
The judgment would have to be that the panel has done rather well so far tonight, and we'll have another contestant after this word from our alternate sponsor. And now to meet a final challenger, will you enter and sign in, please? Robert H. Leman. Right, sir? All right. Mr. Leman, where are you from?
New York City.
From New York City. I will
Right,
present our panel, and then if you'll join me over here, you know how we keep score. We're a little short of time,
Yes,
so we
sir.
want to get as much time as we can for you. You know how we keep score. We'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, we will tell you that Mr. Leman is self-employed and deals in a service, and we'll begin the general questioning with Alan Ludden.
Is the organization for which you work self-employed? Self-employed. That takes care of that. Service. Is it a service that would make me feel better? I think so.
Well, I would, with your permission here, since the nature of the question was so specific and make me feel better, say no, because I think, Alan, while it could remotely, it would not necessarily do so. Miss Francis?
Do you work with your hands, Mr. Leman?
I personally don't.
You use your hands in your work?
Well, we'll have a small conference. All right, fine. That's 2 down and 8 to go. The answer is no. Mr. Cerf?
Mr. Leman, I noticed the very artistic flourish to your signature. Have you got anything to do with the arts?
I personally?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Miss Kilgallen?
Well, is the answer yes?
Yes.
The answer is yes, and you notice reluctantly given, and you may judge, therefore, the degree.
Why don't I get another question, then?
Oh, I just thought I'd try to get away with it. Go ahead, Bennett. I'm sorry. That was my fault.
All right. Mr. Leman, have you got anything to do with the writing profession?
No, sir.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, John, I can't figure out an art where you wouldn't use your hands.
Well, actually,
Could you give
I
me
think
a-
without revealing anything, what we're saying here is that the character of the work which our guest performs, while having a direct relationship to an artistic activity, is confined to merchandising, etc. So it is not necessarily directly involved in the terms of using the hands.
In other words, if you had to write something, you would have somebody to dictate it to. Is that the idea?
Well, this might be true, but is not necessarily relevant to his basic activity.
Are you in any of the arts which are related to communication, TV or radio?
No. 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Ludden.
Do you have anything to do with do you use your, since you don't use your hands, do you use your voice in your occupation at all? In your service? As a means of entertainment, no. No, I mean, well...
Except for basic communication, no. Now, I think we've gotten off the road and we're just about run out of time, so I want to be sure and clarify it. Actually, Mr. Leman is the head of a interior decorating company that redoes elevators.
Only.
Only. It's called Elevator Interiors Incorporated. And actually in big apartment buildings, particularly in New York.
Automate them? You mean
No,
automate
they
them?
go inside and just redecorate the interior, but put up paneling and stuff like that.
Doesn't he sketch? Doesn't
No,
he ever
because
sketch?
he confines himself basically to sales, which is what I was
Oh,
trying
I
to tell you.
see.
Mr. Leman, I'm sorry we've run out of
Thank you
time. It's
very
nice
much.
to have had you with us in What's My Life. And having used up all the time we have tonight, with the panel's permission, I say good night for all, and thank you for being with us on What's My Line.
What's My Line is a CBS television network production in association with Mark Goodson and Bill Cotton. Johnny Olson speaking. Heart Month is over, but not the fight against circulatory and heart diseases. Did you send your contribution to the Heart Fund? If you didn't, send it today.